Happy Monday. It is July 21st, Monday. This is an open door, and this is the hour that we have um, named where the rubber meets the road, where we look at small section of A Course in Miracles and discuss how we could use it in our day-to-day lives. I opened the book at random last week, and I got to be honest, this paragraph, there he is. I started without you, Andrew. I didn't like, I was sitting here, and anyone that was here knew I was like shaking. Like, did he send me an email telling me he wasn't coming? But
I'm
now that
sorry
you're
it's
here,
late.
it's all good. So I read that first paragraph in the Forgotten Song, and this shock wave went through me because in like 10 lines or whatever it is, I'm going to read it. It feels like every single line are favorite quotes that we hear. Of course, David's getting it right. We hear people quote all the time from A Course in Miracles. And somehow I didn't know that they were all part of one teaching in one paragraph. And I've been with it for the last 3 or 4 days, and and um, and having wild experiences with it. So I can't wait to see what I'm going to say about that because every day's been different. But then even this morning, I didn't know what song I was going to play, right? And so I worked with the quote, and I'm going to read it. I'm going to play the song. I'm going to read it. I'm going to tell you what is so alive and exciting here and now. I didn't know the song. I went looking for a song, found a song I liked, and then I realized why the song fit the quote. It is page 659. Thank you, Rana. Um, and so now I know which part of this quote I get to share on because it's in the song. All right, so I'm going to read it. I'm going to play the song, and then we'll see what I do next, and then I'll hand it to Andrew, and then we open it up for conversation. Projection makes perception. The world you see is what you gave it, nothing more than that. But though it is no more than that, it is not less. Therefore, to you, it is important. It is the witness to your state of mind, the outside picture of an inward condition. As a man thinketh, so does he perceive. Therefore, seek not to change the world, but will to change your mind about the world. Perception is a result and not a cause. And that is why the order of miracles is meaningless. Everything looked upon with vision is healed and holy. Nothing perceived without it means anything. And where there is no meaning, there is chaos. So let me play the song. It's called Life is Wonderful. I had never heard it before today. It's almost as if it was created just for this moment. Here we go.
It takes a crane to build a crane. It takes 2 floors to make a story. It takes an egg to make a hen. It takes a hen to make an egg. There is no end to what I'm saying. It takes a thought to make a word, and it takes some words to make an action, and it takes some work to make it work. It takes some good to make it hurt. It takes some bad for satisfaction. Ah, la 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 la, life is wonderful. Ah, la 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 la, life goes full circle. Ah, la 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 la, life is wonderful. Ah, la 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 la. It takes a night to make it dawn, and it takes a day to make you yawn, brother. And it takes some old to make you young. It takes some cold to know the sun. It takes the one to have the other. And it takes no time to fall in love, but it takes you years to know what love is. And it takes some fears to make you trust. It takes those tears to make it rust. It takes the dust to have it polished, yeah. Ah, la 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 la, life is wonderful. Ah, la 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 la, life goes full circle. Ah, la 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 la, life is wonderful. Ah, la la la. It is so. It takes some silence to make sound, and it takes a loss before you found it. It takes a road to go nowhere. It takes a toll to make you care. It takes a hole to make a mountain. Ah, la 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 la, life is wonderful. Ah, la 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 la, life goes full circle. Ah, la 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 la, life is wonderful. Ah, la 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 la, life is meaningful. Ah, la 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 la, life is wonderful. Ah, la 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 la. It is so wonderful. It is so meaningful. It is so wonderful. It is
Projection makes perception. The world you see is what you gave it, nothing more than that. But though it is no more than that, it is not less. Therefore, to you, it is important. It is the witness to your state of mind, the outside picture of an inward condition. As a man thinketh, so does he perceive. Therefore, seek not to change the world, but will to change your mind about the world. Perception is a result and not a cause. And that is why the order of miracles is meaningless. Everything looked upon with vision is healed and holy. Nothing perceived without it means anything. And where there is no meaning, there is chaos. So if I start right here, I got chills, especially because that song just showed up and how perfect is it? I start here knowing that life is wonderful. Life is wonderful. God is. And then you seek to speak. Be still and let me know that you are God. You know, God is love. Start right there, right? And then life happens, good, bad, and different. And it knocks you for a loop. And this is where this teaching, if you hold to this teaching and you look at this world that is like making your head spin and you're believing the world, right? Then if you're allowing, if the world out there, you continually to believe the world is out there, then it will continue to create chaos, right? Everything looked upon with vision is healed and holy. Nothing perceived without it means anything. And where there is no meaning, there is chaos. So when I sit here and continue to put believing intention on a world that is continually knocking me for a loop and is out there instead of in here, then all I'm doing is continually feeding a belief in separation, a belief that I am a victim, a belief that I have to defend and attack myself. And all that will continue to do is give the energy to the hamster that's spinning the hamster wheel, that's keeping the dream alive. The dream of what I am is something other than God is, right? On the other hand, if life hits my stuff and there's pain erupting and the sense of being attacked and defended and whatever is going on, good, better, and different, is filling me, right? And I remember this teaching, even when I don't believe it. I'm like, life is showing me in this moment. And we're not like I'm looking towards Sandra because I'm not talking about feeling sad in the moment or angry in the moment. I'm literally talking about the stories the mind is saying about what's going on, right? In the moment, like all the money's gone, or the kids just told me they don't want to talk to me anymore, or whatever. And the feeling that what I am is being victimized by the world is filling me. And I hold on to this teaching, right? Miracles of change in perception. And I say, wow, even though it doesn't feel like it right now, the world just hit a belief that I am something other than life. I am something other than God. I am something other than the love which created me. And that's all the world is doing, is gifting me, showing me a hidden belief that is inside of me, that I could be a victim of the world I see. Those words have been showing up a lot in my space as I look at it, because I know I'm not a victim of the world I see. I can accept that I'm not a victim of the world I see, and yet when the world hits here and it feels like no matter what I do, it ain't enough. I'm screwed, however it wants to look. And I can hold on to this teaching like a lifeline. This teaching says the world isn't making you a victim. The world isn't proving that you're a victim or that you need to attack or defend. All the world is doing is lighting up a belief in here that you're something other than what created you. That you can be less than another, or that you need to defend yourself, or that you are at risk, or that you are unsafe, or that you are unworthy, whatever it is, depending on the story. That's all the world is doing. That's the teaching can't be clearer than these few sentences. The world is a witness to your state of mind, the outside picture of an inward condition. That's a quote. So when I can stay tethered to that, like a lifeline, no matter what's going on in the world, then I can rest from the thinking mind and allow the experience to fully express itself, knowing that all the world has done in that moment is show me a belief that I didn't even know was operating here. And if I can allow it to come up, if I can allow it to express itself and feel this sense, then it gets released. And it also means, we've talked about it a lot, that more and more and more, I am discovering my ability to joyfully celebrate everything that's going on. The most horrible parts, the most beautiful parts, the subtle parts, because all of it is a gift to show me. It's the projection. The world gets to show me what Cindy's made of, you know, and I don't even have to do anything about it, right? As long as I continue just knowing, trusting this teaching that the world that I am experiencing is the witness to my state of mind, the outside picture of an inward condition, then I get to celebrate that. I get to see, the dark side of the moon, the hidden parts. And that's all the world keeps. I don't even have to decide if I like it or not, by the way, because it's all I have to do is be fully present for it, experience it, go, wow, this is what has been created for me to be part of right now. And then there's a loosening, a resting, a beingness, a just. Because when we let go of thinking the world is something outside of us, and we just meet it knowing it's nothing other than a projection and an experience in us, and there's no more trying to change it or judge it or wish it to be different. It just gets to be fully experienced. So that's all there is to say about that. That's all I got to say about that in this moment, anyway. And hey, Andrew.
Hello, Cindy. Hello, everyone. Uh, Cindy, it sounds to me like you hit the nail right on the head. Another quote, but I don't know the exact quote that is in the course, is you can't escape the darkness of the world by looking away from it. You have to look at the darkness, which would be the chaos that we see in the world. We have to look at it, understand it's not real, and give it to the Holy Spirit to explain to us, or just, take care of. What's not in our control, we give to the Holy Spirit and trust that everything will be right, no matter if we like the result or not. This section that we read, the Forgotten Song, that's what we were supposed to read, right? I love the last couple paragraphs of it, but yeah, the whole thing is very good. The song, I've heard the song all my life, but I didn't know what it was. I hear it now. I hear it all the time. It's a ringing in my ears. I think a lot of people have this ringing, but they find it annoying. And I used to find it annoying, but until I realized that that's what it is. Now I can listen to it and I can love it. It's like angels singing, but it's just one steady tone. But if I ignore it, it sort of goes away, not 100%. But if I focus on it, it gets louder. That's how I interpret that. and it has helped me. And then it talks about imagining a golden light, a circle of light that grows and grows until there's nothing but the golden light. And it says that is our reality. Our reality is one being, one light. We could be individual rays, but we're all connected to the one light. And I think that's all I have right now. Thank you. And I like that song. I never heard it before.
As far as I'm concerned, it was created for us for this moment. It did not exist in my world until I sat to prepare for this hour. So there's no reason not to believe it didn't exist until this moment. Wow. I'm going to start calling on people, you know. Rana, go for it.
Hey, everyone. I was just trying to patiently have humility and allow someone else to go. I am really enjoying this. And I do see what Cindy said, that it's got all of the basic pointings right here for us, you know, and the first thing is to be able to consider that truth is that what I see is imagination, you know, projection. And that I don't need to change the world. You know, that is something, I mean, when I first heard that, I was like, oh, come on, you know, but I have had direct experience where I've chosen to do nothing in the world for a moment and turn toward Holy Spirit and ask for correction, and to have the world seemingly relieve itself of all the problems I saw previously. That might be a good way to say it. There's another quote in a few paragraphs down. It says, "The world you see only shows how much joy you have allowed yourself to see in you and to accept as yours." And it's very much talking about what's in here, what I'm thinking about makes what I see out there. Complain, complain, complain. Then I see all the stuff to complain about. You know, sadness, sadness, sadness. Then I see sad things. And I'm not either talking about in the moment like Cindy referred to, you know, because there is a joy in tasting each of that as it arises. But I guess it's this overall seeing that's really striking me. What it's pointing to for me is don't judge it immediately. See it. Don't be confused about, you know, don't try to place meaning on it by myself. I had a situation, just, it's not even a big deal, just a discussion with my husband, you know, and prior to reading this, I was very much in the he said, she said, not with revenge or anything, but more of this, how can I fix this and make it better? But after sinking in with this teaching, it's like, I don't need to do anything there. If I do, it'll become plain later. But what I am to do is to ask for the miracle of seeing with clear vision. you know, to ask to be shown what's really going on, not what the mind story has created that's going on. I will say that since truth has come to me, my world is so much more full of joy and love overall. I feel like I'm given the opportunity to look at daily things now. You know, the world is crazy, but I can love it just the way it is because it has the freedom to express. That's my love for it, is to just allow it to be. But if something gets poked, to question that and see where that's coming from. And if it feels meaningful, can I ask for that perception to be cleaned up and then guided on whatever the next thing as it unfolds? You know, like I said, if there's something to be said or done, it will be clear. It will, you know, I don't have to figure out. I guess I'll end with this. It's that thing about moving from the intellect to the heart. Drop it in there every time, you know, and that gives this one joy, or the opportunity to see things with love and joyfully instead of those snap, I gotta figure it out. So thank you. That's all for now.
Well, we're waiting for the next hand to rise. I can tell you about 2 experiences I've had with this quote in the last 2 days. One of the things that I did is I would write this on my little piece of paper and ask for some sort of assistance, and then do my diet and then write about it afterwards. Yesterday, when I sat to do this practice, this body was experiencing a fair amount of pain. Doesn't really matter the specifics. Pain comes and goes. So I was just like, how do I use pain? How do I use physical pain with this? You know, the physical pain was pretty friggin' loud, right? And it was interesting because what happened during the dyad is I watched the pain come and go and do different things, right? And it was a great dyad. And then when I started writing afterwards, at one point, I thought I was writing the piece of like rewriting the quote, the line that says, do not try to change your mind about the world, you know, do not try to change the world, change your mind about the world. I wrote the words, change your mind and the world. And when I really sat with that, what I saw was the belief that is in here. It's in here. I'm not going to put it in anybody else, but I saw the energy in Cindy that said, if I do this right, my world's going to get better. Right? If I meet the teachings in just the right way, then I'm going to have what I want, which yesterday was a body that didn't hurt. And so I acknowledged that it was there. I really wanted a body that didn't hurt yesterday. And I willed for relief from that. Like I don't even remember how, just seeing it. That's all I did yesterday, was see it and acknowledge it and say, yeah, there's something in Cindy that is still believing that if she does this spiritual practice the right way, her outer world's going to get better. And I saw in that a belief here that still wanted to hold on to this idea that it's the outer world that's real, and the spiritual practice is what I'm doing to change the outer world. And the spiritual practice is just a process used to make what is real, the outer world, true, right? I could see that. And I started laughing at it. And all I could tell you is that today the body, at some point, the body stopped hurting. It's no longer loud, right? In that way. but it was no longer the focus. This morning, and this is really very, very funny to me because I didn't know this was there either. Before my dyad this morning, I was watching our Finding Truth for Thursday with Gary Zukav. And the first half hour for me, I found really boring. I almost didn't want to finish watching. And then it was like a switch. He started talking about channeling this Genesis, right? And it was the story got wild. But what it lit up here was jealousy. Like I got really pissed. I was like, man, Esther has Abraham, Paul has the guides. Now Gary, I didn't even know Gary Zukav had this non-physical entity that he's been hanging out with for 40 years, right? Like I got really like an energy of jealousy. I wanted to put a name to it. Rose, like, man, why won't my guide and teacher talk to me? Like it was like I wanted to not to, right? And so that was the energy that went into the dyad. And I asked for help. And in terms of this teaching too, because literally that's a dualistic statement, right? And afterwards in the writing, I was absolutely able to see that having a name and a guide and someone to talk to was dualistic. 2, it's a desire for a mystical experience. And 3, it's special relationship. Like it's all the things the Course says you want to heal. Now, it doesn't mean that I do know that we're all being supported. But then what happened in the writing this morning afterwards, something helped. And the question arose is, well, why do you want to have this inner guide? And the word was loneliness, because there is this energy of loneliness here. And if you have a voice talking to you in your head all the time, like, where's the loneliness, right? The idea that if I can't create that intimate relationship with the world, I can, like, it was wild. And I was given an assignment that felt very much like Helen Hamilton, of just being with the energy of loneliness. What is loneliness? I was able to admit there's no one here experiencing loneliness. It's an experience of loneliness that rises. And can I meet it? So it was wild, because again, this whole projection makes perception. It lit up this belief in loneliness, seeing a sense of loneliness inside. It's kind of wild. And then once all of these teachings state one way or another that once you see something and you bring it to consciousness and you allow yourself to just see it, you don't have to get rid of it, and you don't have to fix it. You don't have to believe it or not believe it. You just got to see it. Then something happens and it starts to transform. So that's the in the world day-to-day experiences I've been having, just by saying, man, Sandra told me that the Course is true. So let me look at these lines and make them true in my space. Yeah, awareness is curative. And so who's going to share now? William, please unmute. Yeah, so we can hear what you're saying.
I just have this strong sense that every one of you are just speaking for me. It's like, wow, I don't have to be jealous, envious, stupid, anything. Because I'm just projecting. I'm projecting. You all are my projections. You're just speaking for me. It's wonderful. And then when I see your smile and laughter, that's my smile and laughter. It's all about me, all about not me, but everything. I got to share this real quick, I say quick, because my fear is that I'll lose you. Your attention's going to go elsewhere. So I want to grab it and bring it. Don't leave me yet. I got something else more. Okay. Oh, there she is. Okay. Indigo. How many times have people spoken about someone in here, whether it's Richard, Cindy, Tony, everybody has reached out. I've reached out. I grab that person and I hold it close. Not them, but what I felt when they spoke. So this, I've been painting a fence, paying all this money down, have fences, barriers, like we're protected now, whether we like it or not. We got new fences around our place. Okay, brings up the fear of losing money doing it. Well, I've been painting it. I was going to have it done, but no, I'm so frugal. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it by fear. I'm doing it. So what did I do? Yes, I've even had a kid that's going to help me for $20. Oh, that's great. It's kind of it's a support system. I can it's given me motivation and confidence that I can really do this. I just was afraid to embark on it, commit to it. All right, so here goes. Indigo. That image of her peeling the egg. Oh man, I've just incorporated that. And so when I'm painting the fence, that's what I'm doing. I'm just peeling that. Oh, there's a little scrape. I got to put it a little piece, dab of paint and cover that up. Oh, I cover that up. Now I cover that up. And little by little, I'm covering the whole damn fence up. It's so neat. But I'm here in a moment, more in a moment. This fence has helped me over the past 3, 4, 5 weeks be more present, more present. I'm projecting my whole career life on this fence, and I'm having so much fun painting it. And I'll do it myself. I don't need to pay somebody to do it. I'll do it. I wake up early. I can't wait to get out there and paint, pick the eggshells off the egg. So anyway, thank you. That's what I wanted to share.
Thank you, William. Somehow your share makes me want to go watch The Karate Kid.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. So good to have you here, Patricia.
Thank you. Yeah, usually I'm in physical therapy, but I'm very happy to be here. Good morning, everybody. I just wanted to tell you an experience I had talking about the forgotten, when it's only been a week that I broke my shoulder in 6 places. And I in the hospital, people were very kind, but I didn't know this orthopedic surgeon. And I said, oh my God, I wonder if he's any good, and blah, blah, blah. All fear kind of stuff came forefront. And then as they were wheeling me into the operating room, he said, how are you doing? And I looked him straight in the eye and I said, I'm scared. And he said, of course you are, in broken Spanish. He said, I'll take good care of you. I took in a deep breath, came back to the present moment, got out of fear. And all of a sudden I said, is the Holy Spirit here? Are you here? And all of a sudden my heart just felt like it had opened way, way up in my body. And I guess I said to myself, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It was a beautiful experience. And I was able to be in the here and now. I get scared and go away. It's like, when are you going to give me the happy juice so I don't have to be here? There was no happy juice. All there was, it was a really incredible shoulder block as I'm listening to the sawing and all these things that were happening to this body. And I would keep coming back to the present, and I would say, Holy Spirit, could you just take my hand, please? I'm having a little hard time. Held my hand in my heart, that is. And I did not feel a thing, and I never had any happy juice. So screws and bolts and rods and the rest went in, but I didn't feel anything. That surgeon looked me in the eye and he said, "You'll be okay. I will take good care of you." So his Holy Spirit, my Holy Spirit must have been, or the Holy Spirit. They were hanging out together, and I'm very grateful. Thank you.
Thank you. And I love how you corrected that because, you know, the good way of looking at the Holy Spirit is like air. It's like saying, I'm breathing my air and you're breathing your air. You know, there's just consciousness or love or the Holy Spirit or whatever you want to say. So it was kind of cool to watch how you kind of corrected that. Yeah. And I love that you're here. I've had to. Monique, the floor is yours.
Whoops, my phone. Thank you, Patricia. That was lovely. Thank you for that. There is a phrase that has been always important for me. And the phrase is, and it's coming from A Course in Miracles, and it says, hang on. Love brings up, I think I added to the surface, but the phrase in A Course in Miracles is, love brings up everything unlike itself. That's the phrase that is written in A Course in Miracles. Love brings up everything unlike itself in my life. So I Google it, and that's what it says here. And I just want to read it. It's not long. In A Course in Miracles, the idea that love brings up everything unlike itself means that we open ourselves to love. We become aware of the fear and illusions that have been hiding within us. This quote highlights the transformative power of love in revealing and releasing what is not love, allowing us to experience true and lasting peace. So I just wanted to read that because for me, I take things literally when I hear it. So, and that's what I have been experiencing. It's like the body is holding memory of the abuse. Even if I don't remember, the mind doesn't remember, but somehow, and that's why we are here. It's there is one thing that I never know what if I can say that or not. When I was younger, the abuse was so strong that I would get out of my body. I don't know how I was doing that. But then that was another life. For me, I felt like I lived two lives most of my life. Like this life out of the body where you travel in the universe or whatever, and this life in the body. But I was told as I was out of my body that transformation can only happen in the body. Like consciousness was trying to tell me, go back into your body, and that's where the transformation happened. And that's why we are here on the earth, in earth or whatever, and we are with a body. And also I've heard often that I don't know where it's coming from, but it's like it's telling me, you don't know how lucky you are to be here in the body. You have given a chance, like you give yourself a chance to transform, to go back to love, to the true love, to who you are. But it happens in the body. And I really feel that, I really see that it doesn't matter where you are in your mind, you can be in a lot of love, or you can be enlightened, or whatever word you can use, which for me being enlightened is not very important, but the body is, that's why I said I was like a pinball machine. Sandra came with that, and I was so surprised that she also used that expression, because so the memory, I can, as I do dyad, I can see the memory coming out. I can feel it, and it's releasing, and it's feeling so good. And that's why I said I'm changing and the world is changing. So what I wanted to say is love brings up to the surface everything unlike itself. Like we are in total love, but pain still somehow coming in. But if we release, if we accept that pain, like Pat said, Patricia, thank you so much for saying that. That was beautiful. Is there a Holy Spirit here? This is exactly how I do it. Is there, what can I do with that? Just like out of the blue, I ask, what is it? What can I do with that? And bang, there is the answer, the experience of it. Without, I don't have to pray for 5 hours, just ask a question out of the blue. Is there a Holy Spirit here? That was beautiful. So thank you.
Thank you, Monique. Hey, David.
Hey, thank you, Monique. Because so what I was going to talk about, or I am going to talk about, lines up with what Monique says. And I used to think, look, I'm so clairvoyant, I can just, but it's not. It's because it's the truth. And my truth and your truth is the same truth. So whenever you say something, and go, okay, that lines up perfectly with what I'm going to say, because like I say, they're both if they're both the truth, they line up. So anyway, a couple of things. When I was reading this first paragraph of this section, I can remember sitting in Ken Wapnick's class and him saying some of these things, and I go, and it was like I was there again, and that was so cool. I'm sitting there, and here he is in his grandpa kind of shirts, and standing up there behind the podium saying all these things. And first of all, I used to think, oh, well, he talks funny. It's because he's from New York. But anyway, then I got used to understanding, lining up with it. It was listening to how he speaks, and it was like, and now I just love to hear him talk. Sometimes I play some of his videos or audios and listen to him. But anyway, what I want to talk about is something that happened Saturday, and I was in a class, and I'm not going to name any names, but. And we were talking. The name of the class was is War Game, and it was a friend of mine and Richard's that was giving the class, and her premise was it's all a game, and then another person in that class took exception to that. She says, well, it's not a game, it's real life. And what about when this happens? It's okay to call it a game, or go with what the Course in Miracles says, except in this situation. What about this? And the person who was teaching the class kind of laughed at that. And I took that as an attack. Well, this person teaching the class is very knowledgeable and very holy, as we all are, except in this situation where she wasn't. I thought she was cruel and kind, and so I got very angry. Now I didn't say anything, but I just sitting there being very angry, and then so in my situation, that was. I'm very holy, and I do this, and I'm a course person, and I've been doing this for 30 years, except in this situation, I wasn't. I became angry at her because she laughed at this other person, and I don't think she laughed at her. She just kind of laughed because what this person was saying was what is so, an exception to the course, and this person's very. a very strict Keynesian, if you will, and so she took it that way. And so then, I'm sitting here listening to folks, and I've listened to Monique, and I'm here listening to Rana, and I go, well, that's so, we all have our accepts, and rather than be angry at my accept or angry at somebody else's accept, I just need to just forgive all that and just understand that we're all doing the best we can, and we're all going to have an accepts all the time, and I can forgive them as they can forgive themselves, and we can just go on and keep on doing the best we can and learning how to deal with our accepts, because that's why we're here. That's what this class is about. That's why this big purple book was written, for us to learn. And so I come in here with my problem and listen to all of you holy people talk, and now I'm okay with it. Now I understand how I can deal with this situation that made me crazy for 2 days, but now I can accept my accept. And so thank you for listening.
Thank you for sharing and for being here. Amy's here too. I love knowing that there's nothing that separates me from the image of an Amy Hybel.
Well, no, there's not. This is a great lesson and really great reading, Cindy. Thank you. And as usual, you expressed it really well. There are a couple things I just wanted to share because I love them so much. And it's on page of the blue book. It's 446. And it just says, not the whole song has stayed with you. Not the whole song, but just a little wisp of melody, attached not to a person or a place or anything in particular. And first of all, what a non-dual teaching this is. It's telling us that this love of beauty and truth is inherent in us. It may be expressed through a person, a place, or a thing, but it's the melody that we remember that's inherent in us. And it doesn't require a person, place, or thing for us to remember it. And so that's one thing and then it says, but you remember just from this little part, how lovely was the song, how wonderful was the setting where you heard it, and how you loved those who were there and listened with you. And I just want to say how much I love all of us, because we're all listening to the song now together. We are all together listening to this song. And then one more thing that says, beyond the body, beyond the sun and the stars, and Andrew said this, past everything you see, and yet somehow familiar, is an arc of golden light that stretches as you look into a great and shining circle. And then it says the light expands and covers everything, extending to infinity and shining with no break or limit anywhere. And within everything is joined in perfect continuity. And nor is it possible to imagine that anything could be outside, for there is nowhere that this light is not at all. And if that's not an expression, a description of unity, I don't know what is. And so when I think God's not in us, we are in God, that's where we are, in this infinite, unlimited. Nothing could possibly be outside it. And the last thing I want to say is, for a while, this is probably 15 or 20 years ago, I would have these dreams of facing real terror. I could be anywhere but sometimes there would be in the room this just overwhelming evil would appear or show up, and their presence would be there. And I was gifted with the awareness in the dream that there were two ways I had to face the evil. And so I could sing because the evil could not stand the song that I would sing. And so somewhere inside me, I would start to sing this melody, and it would go away. It would be gone. And I could never remember the song, but it was a beautiful, beautiful song. It was God's song. Or I would dance. And it wasn't so much the dance as the freedom of the movement, being absolutely free to be guided by whatever moved the form. And the evil couldn't stand that freedom and couldn't stand the beauty of the dance, and it would dissipate. So I'm going to bring this around full circle because, Cindy, I loved your admission that and your explanation of why don't I have these experiences? Why don't I have someone that I can talk to all the time so I'm not lonely? And the truth is, I had that exact same feeling this morning. Exactly. And I said to myself, well, this isn't what's in store for you. You know, you have something else going on, right? You've got to give, you have to allow, Source has a plan, and that's not in the plan for you. So what, are you going to bemoan it? Or no, there's something else going on. And then as you were talking, I realized, actually, this stuff happens all the time. You know, it happened in the dream. It happened in the song. It happened in Patricia's willingness to say, Holy Spirit, are you there? You know, it happens in your teaching all the time, Cindy. And so I just say, I totally get, what you were saying, and I really appreciate your putting it out there. And then I encourage us to remember and find joy in the times when it has happened, because it does happen, and pay attention and love it when it happens. Say yes to it, because then it will happen more and more. Right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah, and the voice actually answered it, which gets really funny. And there's a teaching, and it could be a share at another time. I got an assignment, like I asked, and then the loneliness came up, and then I got an assignment, what to do with the sense of loneliness. And I'll share it at some point.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
thank
pretty
you.
cool.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, so we get to end this hour with Nadego. I was talking to Laurie this morning, Nadego. I told her we see you like every day, and that we all love you so much.
I love Lori. She's so amazing. And I have this plant. It's a poinsettia. And in my apartment, it's really dark. So and I had 3 poinsettias. My mom gave them to me. And one died, and the other 2 were like living. And so I discovered that it was because there was a light there, and they really needed that light to live. And so I was like, oh, wow, okay. And it's really dark in my apartment. So I bought these lights. Oh no, I bought a light for a plant light, and I just, and so it's just It's just, it, it just brings me so much joy just to see just these little leaves come out and just bloom. And it's just love. It's just God saying hello. And I can't get enough of it. It's just so beautiful. And every time I see another leaf, it just brings me so much love and joy. Um, and yeah, it's just such a blessing. And I just love being here with all of you. That we are all just such a gift. And these teachings are just such a miracle. All of them. I just keep just seeing more and more just the love of God. It's just everywhere. And we just don't know it. I just don't know it, but I'm learning. So yeah, I just love being here so much. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Want to see my plants, Nadigo? You ready? Kind of love them too. All right, that's an hour. Let me stop the recording.